guys, it's JJ here. It's been 2 months since I quit my job and I had to get a great budget put together. Yeah, like a tight budget, because now that I am not depending on this income every month, I needed to make sure that my budget fits my current lifestyle. And not to say that have ever been an overspender, because that hasn't been me. I don't spend a whole lot of money on things that really aren't necessary. I really am not into shopping like most ladies my age, I'm sure. But I know that I needed to get with a professional to make sure that my finances were in order so that I can still live a comfortable life and then find out what I need to be bringing in. So I got with the best. Her name is Jalesa, better known as My Money Mogul. You can go to our website and check her out to mymoneymogul.com. So she is a wealth specialist. She is all about helping people to build their financial empire, and that's what I'm trying to do. Build a financial empire. Yeah. So I needed her help. She's an author, she is a speaker, and most importantly, she is also an entrepreneur. So she gave me some great advice about my budget, about my student loan, about all kinds of things that are happening with me financially and what I need to do. So check it out.
My girl, Jalesa Ann. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
I am so excited because, as you know, I quit my job, and I was sitting there thinking, maybe a couple of weeks later, what am I about to do? Because I don't know what I'm about to do in my life. I thought I was pretty good with the budget, even though you and I had talked briefly. You kind of rolled your eyes at me like, yeah, I saw your little budget.
No, I didn't.
But I know that there are some things that I need to have in place, and I need to be extra careful with my money now because, you know, there's not that steady income that's coming in. I don't have that security, you know, from a job, knowing that every 2 weeks I'm getting a payment. So I was wondering if, now that you have my information and you know what's going on, if you could just give me some tips on where I could start.
Okay, absolutely. So, hi everyone. My name's Jalesa Ann, and I'll just do a quick introduction for those of you who may not know me. I'm the founder of My Money Mogul. So I help women, as she said, build financial empires. Yes, they're saying they can hear us and see us, so that's awesome. And we're just taking a look at JJ's budget, which she thinks is so bad. But I didn't roll my eyes at her. I did not. Maybe a couple of things, but first things first, I want to say that overall, it's actually very, very good. There was really nothing that I had to really say that you should cut back on, because it looks like you have kind of already done some cuts yourself. Is that true?
Yeah. You know, like, I don't do a whole lot of extra spending. Like, I don't have cable, you know what I mean? So that I could not cut, but I have to have my wireless. So yeah.
And that was one of the things. Typically, like, the first thing I would say would need to go would be like cable, or I know in your email to me, you had like next to Netflix, like, please don't make me cut this. And you know, something like that is not going to make a huge difference in our expenses. Typically, the largest expenses we have is our home, our auto, and groceries. And I noticed that your grocery bill seems extremely low. I mean, you must really eat on a budget, if at all.
I have it so tight. I'm like, no, we're not getting that. We're not getting that. Like, I do, and it probably could be more, because I'm going to be honest. Like, there are times where I end up going to the store again during the week. Like, oh crap, we still need this, or we still need this. But in my mind, I'm just trying to tell myself, like, you can only spend this much money.
Right. And I think that everything that you have in place is very good. Now, I know you talked about in your email that you took a loan from your 401k to pay off your auto, which is good because you don't have that auto expense. But did you do that this year in 2017?
No, I did that last year.
Last year, okay. Because I just want you to be aware, you are going to have to pay taxes on it probably this year because you left your job this year, right?
Right.
So for those of you who may not know, whenever you take a loan from your retirement account, if you leave the company, you typically only have 60 days to pay it back. And if you do not pay it back, then you default that amount. So it's no longer a loan. They just kind of use it as money that you've taken out of your 401k, which then entitles you to have to pay taxes on it. Yeah. So that's going to be an expense you're going to have to be prepared for next tax season. And another thing that you want to add into this expense here are your taxes. Because now that you're an entrepreneur, they're not pulling it out of your check every 2 weeks.
Right. That sucks. My money. Hi, my money. My money.
Yeah, well, Uncle Sam says part of it is his. So typically, that's something that people really don't necessarily know or they don't prepare for. You have a whole year to prepare for it. So definitely be putting something extra aside. In addition to the 35% you should be putting aside for your potential taxes next year.
Yeah. Okay.
That was one thing I wanted to mention for sure. So everybody has non-negotiables in their budget. And before we get started, I know people who probably don't watch me. I absolutely hate the word budget only because it feels, it makes you feel bad. It's like the word diet. Like,
yes,
you just cringe when you hear it. It's not something that you want to stick to. And if you don't feel good about it, you're not going to stick to it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
So I always recommend people start with calling it a spending plan, a cash flow plan, something that just gives it a more positive feeling.
Let me ask you this, because I know right now I have a student loan and I have done really well giving, but now it's Nelnet, their big piece of money every month. And now I had to defer, right? Yeah, put it into deferment.
Right.
Should I still try to make an effort to pay something or keep putting it in forbearance?
That is one of those things where it's going to depend. In the beginning, I'm going to recommend for you that you leave it in deferment and build up your cash savings. Because even though you've quit your job and you have a savings, having really a larger savings, you really want to have like 6 to 8 months, just especially as an entrepreneur, because anything can happen and it's just going to give you that security. And once you have that security, it'll be a lot easier for you to really just go after your business goals, and your income will end up skyrocketing through the roof because you know that you don't have to sit there and worry about money.
Yeah. So the last resort is taking out the rest of the money that's in the 401k, right? Like, I should just leave that sitting there, just keep my eye on it.
I would pretend that money does not exist for you right now. Only because, you're young, and even though it's tempting, basically when you pull from your retirement account, it's like you're robbing yourself of your future. Because you're going to miss out. What's $10,000 now in 20 years is going to be 100,000, 200,000. So it's like, would you really take 200,000 out of your account? If you left it alone and didn't touch it right now, it could be exponential in 20 years.
This is something that I've found has happened often, is now that I do have this free time to meet with more people, everybody wants to do lunch. I don't have money to go to lunch.
Well, first things first, if you're going to lunch with potential business partners, or you're talking business over lunch, make sure that you are keeping your receipts, because that is tax deductible. 50% of meals is tax deductible. So
I need to make sure you write those off.
Yes, keep all receipts. Make sure that you have them available for you to expense. Secondly, it's okay to say no, or find something else to do. Like maybe we don't have to go to lunch. Maybe we can go, I know here in Dallas, we have like this park downtown, and they have food trucks, and I hear they have Wi-Fi now. So I'm sure you guys have something like that in Houston. There's like a park you can go to. If they want to eat, they can go to the food truck, but you can just enjoy each other's company without spending money.
What kind of tips can you give to those who are ready to step out into that area, but want to make sure that their funds are okay?
Well, I definitely am going to do the recommendation that you have the 6 to 8 months saved up, but let's be honest, that does not always happen. And there's like a terminology, they call it burning the boats. And it's about the captain who, and I can't remember his name, guys. I don't know history all that well, but the captain who was taken over the island. And so that his soldiers didn't have a way to retreat, he burned all the boats so that they either would die there or take over the island. And of course, that motivated them to take control of the island because they had nowhere to go. So sometimes when people leap into entrepreneurship, that's what they do. They burn the boats. They're like, well, I quit my job. Hey, this is all I got. Either make it or break it. And that can be an extremely motivating factor for some people. And I think the people that do that know that that's motivating for them. I do want to say that when it comes to your finances, you want to make sure that you have a plan, that you are automating your finances, only because when you focus on lack, what you focus on in your life expands. So when you focus on lack and not having enough and, being without a job, those types of feelings are very negative and they bring you down, and they cause more of that in your life. They cause more lack. They cause more bad feelings. They cause more feeling unworthy, feeling shameful. And those feelings don't bring you more money. They don't make you go hard in your business either.
Yeah.
You want to sit in a corner and cry. So as much as you can, avoid that by, automating your finances, deferring what you can defer. Talk to your creditors. Don't ignore them. If there's something that you cannot pay, a lot of us don't take advantage of. A lot of our credit cards have the insurance where if we lose our jobs for any reason, they make the minimum payment for